Black, unfortunately.
White Canadian.
Black, unfortunately.
White guy.
Black, unfortunately.
Because I'm white.
Black, unfortunately.
We're gonna go videotape kids.
Drink, 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 donate.
E-beggar.
Drink,
Booze hound.
drink, 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 donate.
E-beggar.
Drink,
Booze hound.
drink, 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 donate.
E-beggar.
Drink.
Happy birthday, Booze hound. Hack. E-beggar.
I'm gonna ride this YouTube gravy train until the wheels fall off.
Donate.
E-beggar.
Donate.
E-beggar.
Donate.
E-beggar.
Gravy train.
I'm not Muslim. I'm just a
food channel that's running out of ideas.
In the meantime, let's watch some TikTok.
On my TikTok.
White Canadian.
On my TikTok.
White.
On my TikTok.
White Canadian.
On my TikTok.
White. I'm not Muslim. I'm just a white Canadian.
White guy.
Hitler flap.
Thank you very much.
White guy. Because I'm white. So the Japanese are horrible people. If I had a gun and you were right in front of me, I'd put the gun to your face.
I'm gonna ride this YouTube gravy train until the wheels fall off.
I think I've stalled.
If I had a gun and you were right in front of me, I'd put the gun to your face.
Bitch. I did the uncut raw videos.
Whether we win or lose, we drink booze.
A British peanut.
I have zero knowledge.
I'm very uneducated.
Is this your full-time job? Yes.
This is a business.
Topper's Pizza.
This is a business.
Topper's Pizza. That sucked like shit. That sucked huge fucking shit.
Do you enjoy doing food reviews as much, or are you bored? I'm bored.
I only promote things that I like.
The Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, the Jackery, my Jackery, the 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 Jackery's working its butt off.
Blue Eddie, this thing is absolutely amazing.
Call me a sellout.
Screw off.
Tangy. Tangy. Tangy.
Tangy, 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 tangy.
Tangy.
I'm insane.
Double.
Hi, can I get a medium Pepsi, please?
Sorry?
Medium Pepsi.
There's a sign here saying turtles.
Oh,
Yep, yeah.
oh, this is my car.
We're gonna do it. Here we go. Ready?
Oh no. It's totally messy, but the idea is you keep it in the wrapper.
I know. I want people to see it.
Well, he wanted to eat this in the car. So I think we could have, no? Would have rocked my car.
I'm not Muslim. I'm just a white Canadian Hitler flap.
See what I mean?
Hitler flap.
Thank you very much.
Because I'm white. The Chinese are horrible, so the Japanese are horrible people.
Fuck.
Shit.
Beautiful looking lunch.
You are good at describing food.
You really got to stop that. You really need to stop that. How else to fix this? You really got to stop that. You really need to stop that.
This is the dumpster that your mom and I found you in. Your real name was going to be called Waste Management.
Yeah, I made more fucking money than you ever did.
All you do is eat all day. That's why I know I'm shit. A couch potato. I can space. Why not the 5 day miss? Why not the 5 day miss?
You can't do me. We're gonna go videotape kids at a tournament, like a little kid tournament.
Now, if you're a child, don't fucking watch this.
That isn't bad. Then again, how do you mess up a sunset when you've got all kinds of gear? Just turn on the camera and you got some pretty good footage. So this is February 6th in the morning. Alright, let's move. If fishing shows are your bag, then there it is. They're all the same to me, though. Three bananas. It has a funny name, must have a sense of humor. What is Ken gonna bring us?
Bikers welcome. Hello.
Ken is taking poor care of himself, eating lots of bad food. A few carrots on the side doesn't make this healthy. And that's all he's gonna bring us from 3 bananas. What a drag. There is probably a story behind why that bull's head has got a name on it, which is creepy. In addition to that, whoever owns the place is a huge fan of John Wayne, so maybe somebody in the family got to meet John Wayne or something. Ken leaves it all behind. As long as he puts food on camera, he gets to write it off. Those mannequins, dolls, whatever they are also creepy as fuck. I hate it when people do that. And there's 2 of them there.
Eating the ants.
This bird hanging around must be as common to Florida as ducks and geese are in Ontario, Canada, hanging around a lake.
Here's a house for sale. I just looked it up. It's $477,000. If that was in Canada for $477,000, I'd buy it.
Wait 1 minute, Ken. I thought you were broke. Of course he's not broke. He's just thinking out loud. It's like, yeah, I might get that. Ken, of course, isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, as we say, because he omits the fact that in Canada there is socialized healthcare, which makes the taxes huge, and you look at stuff in the United States, it's like everything seems, oh, it's so cheap. It's like, no, not if you have to pay for all these other things.
It's nice. I like bungalows like that. Big pillars on the front, and they back onto a beautiful pond you probably can't swim in. There's probably gators in there, but you could probably go for a boat ride. I don't think I would. Beautiful, beautiful area. Here's a little body of water.
Ken is walking at a snail's pace, and he's heavy breathing. Go have another pound of butter, Ken.
I'm not sure if you can actually walk around that body of water or not. Like, this probably isn't private property, and it looks like anybody can walk here. And same possibly around that other lake or pond. But the way you can tell that there's an alligator in there is if the water's wet. That's the rule. If the water's wet, there's gators in there. I just really don't like going too close to bodies of water in Florida. I'm just terrified. 3 kilometers, well, 3.5 kilometers so far, 45 minutes. Just realized I should have possibly started this vlog with a little hello there.
Hello there, Ken. Nice boobs and heavy breathing. Did you drink a cup of butter today yet?
There, how are you? I'm just trying to work off some of the lunches and dinners that we've had. I'm trying really hard to pick things on the menu.
Yeah, right. You lie at the best of times, and when you add that fake laugh, we know you're really lying. I'm trying to choose properly. Go have another beer and another pile of deep-fried chicken flesh.
But it's so difficult when you're in this kind of scenario to pick the most.
People come in here and say this is all hate. The channel is just about hate. It is an interesting character study. Ken keeps saying the same thing in public over and over again. I'm trying to do my best, and then I've got this job, and it's really difficult to... He's lying to himself, and as long as he shares it with people publicly on his channel, he sort of convinces himself that it's not his fault. That's what makes him sort of interesting, like a play within a play, so to speak. Anyway, Ken, just keep gasping there and let's get you on to the next cup of butter.
Healthy thing you could possibly have. Like last night I had a steak, which was the best thing on the plate. And then I had those steak fries. And of course I had to try their mac and cheese, and their mac and cheese was super creamy.
Let's talk about Julia for a moment. Because when I react to her material, I say that she's not really eating all that junk food anymore, and she isn't. When it comes to Ken, we know that he is. Giving into macaroni and cheese, and it's so creamy, that leads to moobs and blubber and gasping for breath when you go for a little walk. That's the difference. You can tell that Julia doesn't really eat this stuff, and Ken keeps saying yes to it and blaming it on his audience and pretending he needs the money. So this is the type of food that you gotta avoid. And Ken keeps saying yes to it, with his qualifying excuses to go with it.
Very, very...
Yes, Ken, have a beer to go with that.
Very good. I'm glad this gave you just a little bit. So, just walking that off. At lunchtime we had...
Wait for it. Probably one of the best. Our Ken never takes a stand. More than a decade with a food channel, and he just doesn't take a stand on anything to say, this is the best whatever I've ever had. Go ahead, Ken. Do it.
Probably one of the best wing places I've ever had. One of the best wings I've ever had, sorry. But the place, I think it was called 3 Bananas, and 2 of the fishing guys and Carl and I all sat down. And the one guy named Eric, he's been there many times because he fishes off that lake, and that's in Crescent Lake area. And he's like, oh, I've been here many times. I would just order, and I'm asking him like, what are the things have you tried on the menu? And he says, I only eat the wings. So I'm like, well, if that's the recommendation, I'm gonna have wings too. And they were nice. And I just did buffalo wings with ranch. Blue cheese is nice once in a while, but I just prefer ranch over blue cheese with my wings. Then we went back to the hotel, hung out for a bit, got all the camera gear sorted and batteries recharged and stuff for the next shoot that's in a couple days or more. And then we went for dinner, and that's where I had the steak.
It just came to me now that the people he is with do not want to be in any footage with Ken eating for his channel, which is a reasonable thing to do.
And the steak fries. So now I'm walking that off, and I'm up to obviously 3.5 kilometers. So I'm attempting to do 10. I sent Carl a text saying I'm out for a walk. Let me know when you need me, because I know he doesn't need me possibly until 12. So I might be able to get 10 kilometers in. So again, I was walking around this beautiful area, and all the houses in this area are just lovely. Like, it'd be nice to
go visit Julia and do a collab. Wow, even she doesn't want to fall that low.
Hang out in this area for a few decades of your life. Seems to be very, very quiet. And just pretty. Like some of these people spend a lot of money on their landscaping. Some people don't, which is fine. But all the houses are just gorgeous. And there was a couple houses I've already passed. I didn't really talk about them. That were kind of above and beyond what the landscaping should be, I guess. Like, you know, some people just have a couple trees, and then some people kind of go all out, which is great. Again, it made me look. All right, so I'm gonna keep walking. I think we're doing a fish fry today in the town, so I have to like fly a drone. I have to do some interviews and enjoy a nice big fish fry.
So they will eventually be on camera with Ken. Probably because by then the drinking has started.
Not the best thing in the world for you, but...
And there's the booze. We are not surprised.
It's probably going to be all fresh.
Deep fried oil and loads of sodium in the batter. That's going to move your moobs up another cup size.
Crappy. Can't wait. Look at the size of this tree. It is huge. Wow. This would be like a normal shot. That's how big the tree is to the house. Like, that is nuts.
Oh no, it's Ken Domik. I gotta get out of here. I feel too loaded to fly.
That's pretty cool.
I gotta get on private property. He'll leave me alone here.
Ontario. That's funny, look. They even have statues of them. Little ornaments. This is a cool little street. No sidewalks. I'm up to almost 6 kilometers, well, 5.5 kilometers there. 70 minutes.
Split 8, the split pace, 11 minutes, 55 seconds per kilometer.
You are still overweight. Recommendation: salad and a glass of water and nothing else.
All right. Burned 471 calories. Sweet. Time for coffee. Shaving, shower, work. Thank you. So sitting area.
Woo, 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 woo. You can't do me, and I'm cutting you off right now.
Woo. There's all the camera equipment. Yep, getting ready.
There you go, Ken Domik. Whether you like his content or not, and we don't, he's got his gear, he's got his computer, and he's making content and working in the United States of America without a work visa. And I wonder why he's not going to shoot any more footage of him at the border anymore, saying, business or pleasure? It's pleasure. I'm a tourist, yeah.
For our next shoot, just trying to get the first vlog done also. Last night, had a really bad night. I went to bed probably around 8:30 or 9 o'clock, because standing on a boat for 4 hours videotaping people fishing, and it was about 25 degrees Celsius, but the sun was like I don't know, 30 to 40 degrees up from sunrise to that till I guess it was around noon. So the sun was just bouncing and ricocheting off the water and was baking me. And I wore one of Carl's hoodies for a show, and the hoodie's black, unfortunately.
White Canadian.
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 Black, unfortunately. So I was wearing this black hoodie, had a t-shirt on, black hoodie, didn't want to take it off because I just didn't want to get baked by the sun, my skin on top of being baked from the heat. Also had pants on, so again, to protect myself from the sun. I had my Tilley hat.
We have already covered the Tilley hat in a previous reaction. I'm not going to do all that work all over again. Let me just do a short version. The Tilley hat is the hat of choice for Canadian retirees. It says, I'm retired and I've got money. Thing is, the company was sold in 2015 by the man who created it, Alex Tilley. And he was very proud of the fact that it was made in Canada, and now the hats are made in China, and this is a grab from the official Tilley company website. That's all they have on the man who created the company. 3 little one-sentence paragraphs and a weak black and white photo of the man. He's barely mentioned, and he was so proud that the hat was made in Canada, and now it is not. So it's the perfect thing for Ken to be having.
Which is a nice wide-brimmed hat, keeping the sun off my face as much as possible, off my neck. I also had a buff. Carl also taught me to soak your buff in water. So you put it in the lake water, rinse it out a bit, and then put your buff on, which basically, it's like a neck warmer, but so it goes around your neck, and you can pull it up over your hat or your head and keep the sun off your ears and your cheeks and your chin and all that stuff. So that's what I was wearing. And
just notice you can hear the whine of the HVAC in the background. Our Ken's not miking up. Remember, keep sending him your money, because he and Carol, they only survive. And without your help, he won't be able to buy all the gear he needs to work very hard for you, like he's doing right now.
The ride back was so nice because just a breeze, and there was no breeze. That was the biggest part about that. There was zero wind on the lake at that time, and so the sun just sat there and baked us while they were fishing. So by the time we had lunch at the 3 Bananas, got back here, and then we went for dinner later on, I was done. Like, I was so done. And so I tried to watch TV, but I kept falling asleep. And then like I said, so I sent a text to Carol saying good night, going to bed early, I'm exhausted. So I went to bed last night, and at around 12 o'clock, it sounded like children, possibly young teenagers, running up and down the halls on the floor above us. And you're thinking it's going to stop. And then you'd hear a door slam, and then nothing. You're like, okay. He said to fall back asleep. Running again, and then they're thumping and then banging, and like, I'm surprised it went on for as long as it did. I almost phoned down to the desk, like, get the police here or something, because it's 12:30 at night, and this has been going on for an hour, and you need to have somebody come here and shut these people up, because pretty much everybody on the 4th floor and the 3rd floor are being woken up by these people. And just some people just have zero consideration for other people.
Yes, just like you, when you shoot footage of people in retail situations without their knowledge or consent for content. And when you took down Matty H's channel with bogus copyright strikes.
And like, take them outside, make them run around the parking lot.
That was some real grandpa talk. Take them outside and make them run around the parking lot!
I'd never let my kids run around like that at 12 o'clock at night in a motel or hotel like this. Anyway, well, I have a lot to do for the rest of the day, so I'm going to wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed that little walk with me, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog. See you in the next one. Cheers. Good morning, vlog people. Thanks for stopping by the video. I'm Ken. This is my vlog channel. This is where I just do
Garbage. It doesn't really count as a real vlog channel because if you're gonna go drop garbage off at the dump, you just run the camera. And if you're gonna blow leaves at the cottage like you've done before and there's nothing different about it, you just run the camera and then you speed up the footage and add Ken Domik music service. You say, here's some content. It's just lazy trash for an audience of idiots who will consume it. And it takes no effort to produce either.
whatever. This is my whatever channel. Whether I'm cutting butter.
It is the type of content that Ken would not watch himself. It's the type of content that says to an audience, I just couldn't care any less. For example, if anybody out there were to cut up pieces of chicken because they wanted some cut up pieces of chicken for something they were going to make, and they just ran the camera while they did it and said, here's some video of me cutting up pieces of chicken because that's what I wanted and I ran the camera while I did it. Now you can watch it. Ken would say, eat me, princess. How much are you going to pay me to watch this? And it better be at least $50 for 5 minutes. It's that sort of material which he publishes.
Buying butter, walking in Florida. I just looked up the temperature back in Toronto area. Well, I guess in Innisfil area, it's -8 degrees Celsius. Right now it's 15 degrees Celsius, which is 59 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for walking, which is what I'm trying to accomplish today, is getting lots of steps in, because since we've gotten here, since we left Toronto, I've been eating too much food. 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 And not the healthiest of foods either. Not the best choices that I could be making. The steak was the best thing I had. Well, the fish was good, but again, I don't know what they cooked it in. So anyway, I'm gonna try and make better choices.
I'm gonna try and make better choices. Coming from a guy who now claims to have been practicing intermittent fasting for more than 5 years.
Not from right now going forward, because right now I'm going out to shoot a video for the food channel.
What you really mean is the I'm pretending to be Steve Wallace channel.
And I don't really want to tell you what I'm doing right now. I want you guys to have a little bit of a surprise. But the hotel's back there a couple kilometers now, I think. I've been walking 1.67 kilometers. Got another 5 to go. So yeah, so it was almost, well, it was 6.76 kilometers, which is 4.2 miles. So yeah, I'm getting that in. That looks like an old Pizza Hut.
It is the Mi Mexico restaurant. It has been there for more than 20 years, and apparently it's very good. So that would be a perfect place to go and do a food review. However, Ken approached YouTube with the idea to follow trends like everybody else is already doing and cash in and get some of that easy money. As Ken has told us, this is a business, and that's all it is. So by pretending to be Steve Wallace, he does better. And if that's what the audience is following, that's what he's going to give them. He's not really a rustic camping guy. He's not really into food. He's just a hack. So there's an opportunity, and he's not going to do anything with it except walk right by it.
I think it is. Possibly. Morning. So I've done a couple walks since I've been here, and Floridians are pretty friendly. Some of them will say hello to me before I even notice they're there. And then like that lady she didn't, I guess because I'm videotaping, she kind of was not really interested in engaging with me. But when I'm not videotaping, either I say good morning and other people say good morning back, and they're super friendly here, very nice people. So the reason you probably clicked on this video is because this.
The place behind Ken advertises cash advance, gold, pawn, loans. These places always make me really sad. There's nothing except for misery around those places. And he just walks by there and feels nothing.
This is probably one of the worst experiences I've had, which isn't actually too crazy. It's just extremely disappointing. So, and it's kind of the hotel's fault and kind of not the hotel's.
Instead of Ken squawking about his hotel stay, I wish that he would instead make a brief visit to the Dollar General. That's a real piece of Americana. Of course, none of this stuff means anything to him. It's like, YouTube, viral cat videos. No? Okay, eat junk in the car. What? Kind of petering out? Alright, what's next? Pretend to be Steve Wallace. That's all he thinks of.
It's people that are in the hotel, that are staying there, who have zero consideration for other people in the area. So we left, or I went to bed back home at around 12 midnight on Tuesday, got up at around 6, quarter to 7. So I had a pretty good sleep that night. Flew to LaGuardia, Orlando, got here, had a late night dinner, went to get a.
Check that place behind him, Garcia's Mexican Grill. Note how the architecture is so removed from everything else around it. They were trying to do something authentic. Maybe it sort of could be. Who knows how long it's been there for. It's kind of kitschy. I don't know. I'm not going to do like a ton of research on it. It's sort of interesting, and he just ignores it. Ken is just here to run formulas, and nothing else.
Again, at probably around 11:30 maybe, and around 12 o'clock, probably 12 o'clock until 1, maybe 1:30, kids.
Our Ken is now going to grumble about the kids that were in the hotel at the same time he was there, which just makes him be even more of an angry, grumbling grandpa than he was before, and we predicted this quite a while back. So if I slow down the footage, it's going to take too long, so I'll just add the graphic and let him do it.
Or young teenagers were running and stomping on the floor above us and running back and forth. And I'm like, somebody's got to call. Like, I didn't want to get up, turn my light on, figure out how to dial downstairs. I know there's probably just a straight assist button. So I just kept thinking, they're just going to stop. They can't just keep doing that without people phoning and complaining. Plus they have like video surveillance of all the floors and all these spots. They have like a big TV downstairs, not that they're paying attention. So that's why I'm kind of also blaming the hotel, because they must see that going on. Anyway, so, and then I had to get up at, Carl wanted to go fishing or leave the hotel at 5, so I had to get up at 4:30. So I only got about 3 hours of sleep between Wednesday and Thursday morning. Then I stood on a boat for 4 hours in the blazing hot sun with no wind. So I drank lots of water. If I had only drinking maybe 1 bottle of water, I think I would have passed out. Because just standing there holding a camera, watching people fish, and it was like dead calm, and the sun reflects that heat off the water and bounces back up onto your face. I have my hat on.
Hey Ken, ABC, Fine Wine and Spirits. They have alcohol there. Come on, you're missing out. Get something, you'll get a deal. Even with the Canadian dollar being worth, 70 cents American. And even if you have to pay some sort of duty on it, you still come out a little bit ahead.
Had my buff on. We soaked my buff in water to keep my back of my neck cool. And then that day was over. We had a good lunch at a place called 3 Bananas. It was pretty cool. Great wings. And then that night, I think we went to the barbecue place. I'm getting all the restaurants all mixed up on what days we did them. Anyway, and then yesterday night, so I go to bed Thursday night after only having maybe 3.5 hours of sleep. And Carl didn't need to get up as early, but because we weren't videotaping a fishing show, we were going to go videotape kids at a tournament, like a little kid tournament. It was just a lot of fun. And
not in the 21st century when both of your kids are in their 20s, and the fishing guys you're hanging out with, they are your age, so if they have kids, they're in their 20s too. So maybe you should just avoid that, unless you're friends with the parents or related or something. Anyway, I don't want to go too far with those jokes, so we'll just leave it.
Raising money and all that stuff. So went to bed Thursday night, and at around 11:45, the couple that was in the next room to me, we shared that, you know, that door between the two, or the two doors that are between the rooms. They proceeded to make whoopee.
What a priceless grandpa thing to say. That the people in the other room were making whoopee. He could at least say they were doing it. I mean, he doesn't have to be like using swear words or anything. And, you know, it's almost, I feel sorry for him a little bit if he can't get any sleep. And he had a great opportunity. He should have just turned on all of his gear and just looked into the camera and said, look, I can't get any sleep. And then you would hear, with all of his amazing equipment, you know, whatever the heck noise they were making, that would have been pretty entertaining, you know. He's telling a bit of a halfway wild story, just that he should have recorded the audio for us instead.
Very loudly for about a half an hour.
This plaza is tragic. Note how it only has one client. I did a search for that. Found Ever is some sort of a call center, and the reviews for it are mostly from ex-employees, and they all have a horrible story to tell. It's a real hellhole back there.
And I'm like, oh my God. And so I started falling asleep, and then they proceeded to have a screaming match, anger, arguing back and forth for 2.5 hours.
Then he should have recorded it. It would have been hilarious. Ken doing his grumpy face, sitting there, looking at the camera while the onboard mic or the other mic is picking up this great screaming match next door. It would have been funny. I would have had to say, this is pretty good material. Oh well, another missed opportunity.
And so it went to about 2:30, 2:45, and I phoned down twice. Nobody answered.
There is also nobody in that plaza parking lot. Could you just imagine the taxes on that place, and they have like nobody in there to speak of except for those employees that are suffering at that horrible call center for very little money? Life sure can be unfair sometimes. They are suffering back there, and here's this Canadian turtle walking through everything as he grumbles.
I was contemplating phoning the police because the arguing was pretty bad. It didn't sound like anybody was throwing things or getting hit or anything, so...
He almost has me feeling sorry for him. Because whoever is paying for it, whether it's Ken, it becomes a business expense travel write-off. Or if it's Carl paying for it, then he writes it off somehow as part of expense of having Ken there. And the hotel is paid for so you can get some sleep, and it's failing to do what has been paid for. And even though it's a weak fishing video, Ken still has to go do something, and he can't get sleep there. And there are people in the building acting like animals, so he should have recorded it. I'm fair. If he would have published that, I would have to say, this is some interesting stuff. And he just left it.
And, you know, she was just as loud as he was, and yelling and cursing and...
This would have been some wild content and no effort on Ken's part. He just has to sit there, be grumpy, and let his mics pick up all the action. This would have been some funny material. And I kind of feel like I'm missing out a little bit.
It was crazy. And so probably around 3 o'clock, it kind of died down. I'm not sure who won. But then they proceeded to play loud music, which is when I phoned down again. They didn't answer. And I didn't want to phone the police on somebody's. And they only played maybe 2 songs, and then it died down, and that was it. And I'm like, okay, finally I'll be able to sleep. And it's, hang on. Definitely need to do a video there too.
Yes, of course. Dunkin' Donuts, another chain. What a surprise. Great. Thanks very much.
People have asked. I think I just might do it one day soon. Rodeo Whip ice cream. Got through that.
Ken should go to the Rodeo Whip. They've been there since 1983. They make homemade ice cream. They got a silly name. They got a cool neon light on the sign. That's where you should go. He's not following his sugar vows from a year ago anyway, so just stop in there and get a cone. Hit the Rodeo Whip. No, he's gonna make a promise to hit a Dunkin' Donuts eventually. What a drag.
The intersection, no problem. So I forgot to also mention, after that first night with the people running around upstairs, I complained to the front office and said, did you guys catch the a-holes running around upstairs?
There wasn't much that he could do about it. If you try to get involved, you might run into a guy who's more physically powerful than you are, and he's drunk and high, and that's not good. And even worse, in a different way, you run into the woman, then she says you assaulted her and calls the cops. So it's too bad he didn't record it. At least he would have gotten something from it, and could have made some content from it too.
And they didn't know anything about it. So I made that complaint anyway and let them know that I only got 3 hours of sleep because of it. And so they were apologetic. And then now we're into the next night where I only got 2.5 hours of sleep.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This one is on you, Ken. You're in some sort of a flea bag. You complain, the people sound dangerous. The management doesn't care. Just get out of there. What are you doing suffering in that place? Leave. And if you're going to stay, at least record what's going on and make some content from it.
Because they woke me up again at 5:30, making loud whoopee.
He said whoopee again. The first time was to keep it safe. The second time, he could have said they were doing it, or, you know, some other way of saying it. He said that twice.
And it was not fun trying to function the next day. And so when I went down that morning, I guess Friday morning, was it Friday morning or Saturday morning? I went up to the clerk, same lady. I'm like, that's day 2 that I haven't had a good night's sleep. And I said, and they're like, oh, what room was it? And I told them what room the noise was coming from. And apparently this person, I guess, frequents the hotel a lot, because he's like, oh, we're going to kick him out because they've had multiple complaints about this person being loud, playing music.
Ken has had a very sheltered life because he has very little in the way of survival skills. You're in a bad place. You just found out that the guy you're complaining about is a regular. You're a stranger there. The management are idiots. And you're setting up a situation where they might actually kick him out, and they'll be not smart enough to keep your privacy as they do so. Well, we had a complaint from a customer. Who the fuck is this guy? Oh, and that's a gentleman over there. And then it's like, the fuck, you got me kicked out? No, where am I supposed to smoke my and have my hose? Huh? Why? What? Just stupid, Ken. Just leave. Idiot.
And so last night was Saturday night. Went to bed finally at I think it was 11 o'clock, I think, I decided to shut everything down and go to sleep, and then I got up at 7. So I had a good 8 hours of sleep last night. I think maybe at around 5, some people got up a little bit loud, exiting their hotel room because they're leaving, but they're like talking very loudly in the hallway, and again, no consideration for anybody else who gets to sleep in a little bit longer. So yeah, so if you ever stay in a hotel.
That behind him is an abandoned KFC location, which almost never happens. And if Ken had any appreciation for fast food lore, he should walk over there and shoot a bit of footage of it. And he doesn't. He just walks on by. In addition to that, it's starting to feel like Ken is walking into the hood, which is not smart. A blubbery Canadian turtle walking into a Florida hood.
Be considerate to the people that are around you. Try not to be loud. Keep your TV down. And be nice to your neighbors.
Ken, who are you telling this to? Bad people do not take advice about acting like animals or less than animals. If they're old enough to rent a motel room and they act that way, they're not changing. You should have left after the first bad day. And you should stop walking into this hood.
And again, when I went down and complained about them, she's like, I'm really sorry, and is there anything we could do? And she goes, do you have like a points plan with us? And I said, no. And then she's like, and then she offered me whatever I wanted to have in the area where they have all the chips and pop and drinks and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm not interested in any of that bribe stuff.
What is wrong with you? Take the free chips and soda pop and say, hey, no hard feelings and don't make trouble and get out of there. You should have left after the first bad day. And what's that in the background? A coin laundry? You're walking deeper into this hood? Coin laundries are where all kinds of poor people hang around, and you're holding a GoPro or something on the end of that stick. You're gonna get yourself mugged, you idiot.
So she wasn't working this morning, so I didn't get to tell her that. I finally had a good night's sleep. I'm not paying for the hotel room.
So Carl is paying for it. Okay. It doesn't matter. You should have gotten out of there after the first bad day. You got your credit cards and cash on. You can go anywhere. Figure it out later. You just should have left there right away.
If I was, I would be demanding 2 days of my stay reimbursed. But I'm not paying for this. I'm hoping that the hotel credits Carl, and I've told Carl everything, so.
Then you could have improved his argument by shooting some footage of what was happening and showing your phone and your watch at the same time. Yeah, you can monkey with that, sure, it's just that it's very unlikely that you would. So that could have helped. Plus, we would have had some sort of interesting content if you had.
So whether he wants to do something about it or not, I don't know. But I don't know why hotel rooms don't make those 2 doors more soundproof, because that's where that's all like.
Because it costs money. You silly putz. What a child you are. I don't know why the companies don't build them better, and why doesn't this Fleabag hotel spend what it needs to make it great? Because it's a pile of crap, that's why.
All the audio was coming through that like no problem, like paper doors. The walls were fine. I never heard anything on the other side of my room from that room, whether there was somebody in it or not. But you can't hear other washrooms flush, or you can't hear other people having showers, which is, there have been hotels where I've been in that situation too. So the walls and everything were good in this hotel, except
back there it says Self-Help Credit Union. Our Ken is an idiot. He's walking deeper into this poor hood.
The front door and the doors between, I guess I should say, all the doors in this place were like cardboard, because sound goes through them, no problem. Anyway, guys, we're up to 2 kilometers, 2.76 kilometers, and or it's 2.71, and I'm 30 minutes in. I got about another hour of walking. I'm gonna try and slow down when we get closer, so I'm not all sweaty, and while I'm sitting there.
The Shade-land or Shady-land mobile home park. Ken, get out of that hood. You're gonna get rolled for your gear, then maybe somebody in that mobile home white trash mess is gonna eat you afterwards. Get that video over with. Now.
Eating breakfast. But again, I just want to leave you hanging on that so you guys get a little surprise in probably, I guess, next Saturday's video.
No trespassing. Violators will be prosecuted. It's also a towaway zone. Not a friendly place. Ken, you're so stupid. Just get out of that hood. The video is pretty much done with by now. The same.
I might put up 2 videos from Florida, like kind of back to back. I'm not sure yet, but I have to do this breakfast place. I don't normally eat breakfast, and then a seafood place, and that's going to be the video for today. And then I'll probably shoot another video on Monday because we're doing 2 more fishing shows on Tuesday, Wednesday, and hope we don't get rained out. Come all this way and you get rained out, that would suck. It's happened.
1, 2, and 3 bedrooms for sale, starting from $500 down. That is desperate and dangerous. What an idiot. Okay, the video's over, thank goodness, because Ken has no self-awareness, no survival skills, and he pretends to be a rustic Canadian camper. What a joke.
It's happened. Alright guys, thanks for all your support on this channel. Hope you enjoyed that little talk, and we'll see you again in the next vlog.